Hi, I'm Tanya Caroline Chen, a composer, pianist, and writer. If you're fascinated by how sound shapes our daily experience and where creativity emerges from unexpected moments, don't forget to hit subscribe and join me on this journey. If you're interested in my music, performances, or writing, including my recordings of John Cage's music, you can find all the links below. Today, we're exploring one of the most misunderstood works in music history, John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Yes, the infamous silent piece. But what if I told you it's not just about silence? It's about discovering how sound permeates our existence and how art can emerge from the most unexpected places. Imagine sitting in a concert hall expecting a masterpiece, only to hear nothing. No notes, no melody, just the sounds of shuffling programs, distant coughs, and the creak of a wooden chair. This is John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds, a piece that has fascinated, enraged, and inspired for over 70 years. John Cage, born in 1912, was one of the most influential experimental composers of the 20th century. He didn't just challenge the rules of music, he shattered them. 4 minutes and 33 seconds was inspired by Cage's lifelong fascination with sound. A visit to an anechoic chamber, a room designed to be completely silent, proved life-changing. There, he realized that true silence doesn't exist. He heard the hum of his nervous system and the rush of his blood. He had a revelation. Silence is impossible. When 4 minutes and 33 seconds premiered in 1952, pianist David Tudor sat at the piano, opened the lid, and marked 3 movements without playing a single note. The piece was timed to exactly 4 minutes and 33 seconds. But what happened instead? The audience became the performers. Every cough, shuffle, or distant bird call became the music. And yes, if you're watching this video right now, maybe you can hear your neighbor's dog barking or the hum of your refrigerator. The premiere sparked outrage and confusion. One attendee even yelled, "This is a hoax!" But Cage was unfazed. For him, 4 minutes and 33 seconds wasn't about silence, it was about listening. So, is 4 minutes and 33 seconds just a gimmick? Or is it a profound statement about how we experience sound? Let's unpack its deeper meaning and legacy. I'm going to dive into Cage's philosophical influences, his collaboration with pianist David Tudor, and how 4 minutes and 33 seconds challenges what we define as music. Cage didn't stumble upon 4 minutes and 33 seconds overnight. His ideas about silence and sound were shaped by Zen Buddhism, Eastern philosophy, and even visual art. He once said, "There is no such thing as silence." To Cage, every sound, intentional or not, was music. The I Ching was central to Cage's process. It's an ancient Chinese divination text that he used for his chance-based compositions. He threw coins, consulted hexagrams, and let the universe decide. When composing 4 minutes and 33 seconds, Cage structured the piece in 3 movements using similar principles, allowing time itself to dictate the flow. The result? A piece that's meticulously organized, yet completely open to the sounds of the environment. The 3 movements lasting exactly 30 seconds, 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and 1 minute and 40 seconds aren't empty. They are alive with possibility. Quoting John Cage, "I have nothing to say, and I am saying it, and that is poetry as I need it." And that sums it up, doesn't it? Cage didn't want to impose his ego or intentions on the music. Instead, he framed silence, not as emptiness, but as a space for sounds to simply be. The rustling of programs, the radio, the chirp of a cricket, even your own thoughts, these became part of the performance. When 4 minutes and 33 seconds premiered, David Tudor demonstrated the piece's structure beautifully. Let me show you. Opens the piano lid slowly for the first movement, waits, and then closes the lid to mark its end. For the second movement, he opens the lid again, waits, and closes the lid when it concludes. And finally, he opens the lid one last time for the third movement, waiting before closing the lid to end the piece. Each movement was marked by these simple, deliberate gestures of opening and closing. This piece transcended being just for the audience. It was an invitation for everyone present, both performer and listeners, to share in a moment of deep listening. Today, 4 minutes and 33 seconds lives as a vital performance piece across the globe, brought to life by orchestras, soloists, and experimental artists. Every performance emerges as its own distinct creation, formed by the specific environment and gathering of people. This work stands as a profound way of experiencing the world. So, what do you think? Is 4 minutes and 33 seconds a masterpiece, a philosophical statement, or maybe even a prank? Now, let's dive into its fascinating legacy and discover how it sparked creativity across generations of artists, musicians, and thinkers. Since its 1952 debut, 4 minutes and 33 seconds has become a cultural touchstone, influencing everything from conceptual art to modern soundscapes. But why does it continue to resonate? Part of its genius lies in its ability to challenge us. 4 minutes and 33 seconds forces us to question, what is music? Is it the intentional arrangement of notes? Or is it the experience of sound itself? John Cage's ideas directly influenced movements like minimalism and conceptual art. Artists like Yoko Ono and groups like Fluxus built on his notion of art as a process rather than a finished product. Robert Rauschenberg was a pioneering American artist and contemporary of John Cage. His white paintings became a profound source of inspiration for Cage, who poetically described them as airports for shadows and dust. Like Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds, these seemingly empty canvases transformed our perspective by drawing attention to the environment around them. But let's not forget the performance itself. Playing 4 minutes and 33 seconds is an act of vulnerability. The performer is exposed, not by sound, but by silence. When I performed this piece in Bristol, the ritual of it, the walk to the piano, the lifting of the lid, the turning of the pages, it was as much about presence and moment-to-moment awareness as it was about music. And the audience? They became part of the piece. Their movements, their breaths, their reactions, they fill the silence. And in this way, 4 minutes and 33 seconds is never the same twice. It's a collaboration between the performer, the audience, and the space. Perhaps that's why 4 minutes and 33 seconds continues to inspire. It's not just a composition, it's a mirror. It reflects the world as it is in that moment. And in doing so, it invites us to truly listen to sounds, to silence, and maybe even to ourselves. And today, 4 minutes and 33 seconds is celebrated as one of the most important works of the 20th century. It reminds us that music isn't confined to notes on a page. It is everywhere, waiting to be heard. So, whether you see it as a philosophical statement, a bold experiment, or even a kind of silent rebellion, 4 minutes and 33 seconds challenges us to think differently about art, music, and life itself. Because sometimes the most profound moments are found in the silence.